In this week's Torah portion, Kitisa, I want to focus on one phrase. It's the clothing that the Kohanim wore, Bigdei Hasrad, the sort of duty gear, perhaps we could call it. And different commentators, because what is this word srad? What does srad mean? Does it come from sarid, remnant? Does it, what do we talk? Srad as in duty. So Ibn Ezra says it's because it was the clothes you put on when you move from place to place. Rashi has, his own view about the unique way in which it was cut. Nachmanides says, no, it is the special, it's the gear that the Kohanim wore, and the reason it's called srad is it kind of, it differentiates the Kohanim from the rest of, from the Israelites, and they're like their special duty. But I want to perhaps bring one of the most ambiguous, wildest commentaries, and then to sort of give my own 2 cents worth, and that is Rabbi Chama bar Chanina in Masechet Yoma. Rabbi Chama bar Chanina in Masechet Yoma, get this, says why they called Bigdei Srad, or what does he say about Bigdei Srad, that perhaps also interprets this enigmatic word Srad. He says, if it wasn't for these clothes, we would have no remnant of the haters of Israel. Now, what does that mean? Like, what does that even mean? Like, we're talking here about the duty of the holy work. If we didn't have these clothing, then there'd be no remnant of the haters of Israel. And I'd like to offer here two ideas. As I mentioned, so Rashi talks about the way it's cut, or in fact, the Talmud already talks about, Rabbi Chama bar Chanina, this wild idea of the haters of Israel. And the other interpretation, I think it's a Resh Lakish and someone before Resh Lakish that says, forgive me, that it was woven in a unique way so that once you finished preparing it, you just had to sort of like cut the shape, and that's it. You didn't have to sew or anything. It was a very, high level skill. And so you had the shreds that were left, and these are the sridim. This is what's left over. And that's sort of Rashi's take based on the Talmud. And I'd like to offer 2 things. I think the first thing is, how can we make sense of what Rabbi Chama bar Chanina says about if it wasn't for these clothing, there'd be no remnant of the haters of Israel? And I think what we're talking about is these clothes symbolize 2 things. They, first of all, the word Bigdei Srad symbolize that Srad from Hisardut, we will always survive. We will survive the Jewish people until a time where there are no more haters of Israel, because it'll all be, everyone will recognize God. But at that time, we will have this clothing, and it'll remind us of this. But more importantly, it's meant to give us hope today that there will be a time where it will just be a remnant, because otherwise, how can we understand this? And the other possibility of Srad is it's meant to humble the Kohanim. Because just like they're wearing clothing where they know that bits were sort of, without those bits that were left behind, they couldn't wear what they're wearing, they should never forget that they might be the Kohanim, but they're the Israelites. And one needs the other in order to perform their duty. So thoughts on Bigdei Srad, Shabbat Shalom.